Hey everyone,
What's
welcome
up?
back to our channel, Totally Tate.
Yes, welcome back.
This is our little segment, Conversations with J and C.
Yes.
And we're so happy to have you here. If it's your first time tuning in, thank
Welcome,
you.
welcome.
And
Yes.
if everyone else who's already a part of our family that's here, thank you guys so much for
Absolutely.
coming to another video. So today, as you guys can see by the title, we're talking about the differences between our typical son and raising him and everything versus our
Yes.
special needs children that we have. If you don't know, we have two sons with special needs, and then we have one son who's right in the middle who is a typical child.
Yes.
And so we are always highlighting the special needs aspect and everything, but today we want to do something different. We want to talk about our other son, well, they're all special, but our special son who's right there in the middle. So
Yeah, and that's Joshua, y'all. This is our little boy right here, man. This dude is one crazy dude. I can say that.
Not crazy.
He is wild. And let's
the
just start
best
right
way.
there, y'all. I'm just going to go ahead and just even talk about it from right there, right? The biggest difference, of course, like with our typical child, Joshua, and our other kids, is that he is able to do everything physically, right? Which means he's jumping off the wall, y'all. He's jumping off the wall. He putting holes in the wall, y'all. He messing up stuff. He's breaking stuff.
He's riding all over the place.
And it is a lot. Like, it is a lot. Like, I'm going to be honest, right? When we had Jay, and even up until now, when it's time to like, hey, go home. When Crystal, when I got to watch one of the kids, I'm going to be watching Samson or Joseph. And the reason why, because I be working. And Samson and Joseph, I can sit them down right next to me or on the floor, let them play with their toys, and they're not going nowhere.
Right.
Like, they're not going nowhere.
They're not going far.
If they but most of the times they right beside me on the bed or on the couch. But with JJ, he get the moving around. He like that. That's one of the biggest things. The biggest thing is it was an adjustment with, and it still is an adjustment when it comes to raising Joshua.
We'd be like, can't you just sit down somewhere?
Yeah, sit down, boy, because he is active and like he's always moving. He can't sit down. And like that's one of the biggest things is really getting adjusted to having our child just be all around the house. Because like when you think about it, you guys, for all y'all parents that's out there, when you have a typical child, right, you go through the baby proofing of a home. You go through, making sure, you got covers over the lighting sockets. You go through making sure that there's no sharp edges anywhere. But it was like, man, what is going on? Hold on, y'all. We got to take a pause real quick because Samson and Joshua over there. Hey, what's going on? He gonna what? Don't throw his candy away, Jay. You picking it up for him? Okay. Y'all be nice.
Don't be fussing.
All right. And so we get right back into it, you guys. That was JJ moving around. He was about to throw Samson candy away. And it's a lot of exactly what we just did just now. What just happened with me saying, hey, what's going on, y'all? That happens 24/7
all day
with raising Jay because he's active. He can move anywhere. He gets into so much stuff. And for me, that's the biggest difference is that like the other kids, Samson and Joseph, they are really chill because it's not much that they can do unless we put them in the place to where they can do it.
Yeah.
JJ, you can't get no sleep because you don't know
what
what he's getting into. You don't know if the boy's downstairs.
We can't be chill with him because he's like, we just never know what he's doing, what he's up to, especially if he's quiet. It's like,
I know
what is going on, Jay?
He is up to something. And for me, that's the biggest thing. And I have to get adjusted to that.
Yeah. I think that is about the biggest thing. And so I feel like it's so much different because we have two special needs kids. So I feel like I want to try to treat all of them the same, although they are extremely different. But it's like, I'd be like, well, I don't want him to feel like we're just extra hard on him, or we're just, he gets the worst punishment of all just because he's able to get the most punishment, basically, in a way. So I feel like, I'm like, oh, but I don't want to do extra things because the other two don't get that, and I want to make sure that he feels, like I said, like I just want to make sure that he feels equal and not like neglected in a way or mistreated.
Because you always talk about that, y'all. Like, so going into it, right, I have to get on JJ so much, and like even within our marriage and the way that we've been parenting our children, it's been some challenges because for me, I'm that old school parent, and I spank butt.
Old school.
I spank butt. I spank my kids' tails when they do wrong or when they do things that they not supposed to do.
Yeah.
And who gets it the most? Joshua. He gets his tail. I get on his tail the most because he's always doing stuff, and because he can. And the thing about it is, in the very beginning, it was very difficult for you.
Yeah.
Because you would be like, you need to stop doing that to him. I don't want him to feel like he's not loved. I don't want him to feel like he's not cared for. And for me, I'm just like, no, I'm doing this because he needs it. Like, he needs his butt whooped because he just did this to his brothers. He just hurt Samson, and I tell him, hey, no running, no jumping, no kicking, no screaming, no hitting, no touching, no punching your brothers. And when he do that, he has to get some correction, right? And so just on that part, it's been kind of difficult with how Crystal sees it and with how I see it. Because for me, I know that the way that I raise JJ is going to be totally different.
Right.
And how when it comes to correction, like I'm not correcting Samson and Joseph the same way that I do Josh, because they can't take the same.
Right.
I ain't gonna say take the same, but I'm not finna be whooping Samson because I might break his bone, and I'm not going to jail for that.
Right.
Like, and we have tried, with disciplining him as far as getting the ruler to spank his butt. But it's like he move around because he trying to block it, and it's just like, what if we accidentally hit his arm and then it break?
Yeah,
we got to go to the hospital, and they gonna say it was daddy's fault. Then they gonna put me in jail.
That's true,
right? So I can't do that with Samson. I have to find different ways and strategies doing that with Samson and Joseph. But with Jay, he can get it all day when he mess up.
Oh my goodness.
He could get it all day long.
And I feel like, so with that, it's just like, I feel like, oh man, like it needs to be some kind of balance. Of course, to me, I feel like there's a balance in everything, or it can be. Yeah. And that's where I'll be like, ooh, but we need to do it like this or like that. But I feel like that's a really big deal.
No, absolutely. And just to go within that though, right? Within, it's been some differences. And one thing that me and Krista, we've been working it out is even how we raise our children, even how we raise Samson, how we raise Joshua, and getting into it on this subject where how we raise them, it is so much different. Like with Samson and with Joseph, I know it's going to be the same with Joseph, but we tell Joshua to do a lot more. Joshua here at our home, he helps with cleaning up. He helps with putting up stuff. He helps with doing things around the house, picking up trash. He helps with bringing the groceries inside. And one of the things I know that has been difficult for you, because you have told me this, is I'm being tough on Josh. Like, I'm tough on Josh. And the reason why I'm tough on him is because he's a typical son. And I want him to be able to protect his brothers, Samson, to be able to protect Joseph. And so I'll be honest, in the very beginning, I was really, really hard on Josh, and you really didn't like that.
Very beginning.
Yeah, like
newborn.
I was really hard on him.
Dude, what is wrong with you?
Correcting him, making sure he understand his assignment as the brother, the role that he's going to have to play, and what that did.
I was about to say, and that for me, I feel like was a part where I was just like, well, I don't think he needed to play a role, because he's just him. At the end of the day, when he grows up, he's going to be himself, his own individual person. He's not just, and that's how I feel about all kids, even when I look at other families and everything. So it's not just like for our family, but specifically when me talking about our family, it's like he's his own person, and he doesn't have, to me, he doesn't have obligations that he should definitely take care of your family and everything, like family, because even when I grew up, like, it's just taking care of your family. Like, we love each other, that's it. Like, we love our siblings and everything, regardless of what. So even when he's growing up, I want him to definitely love his siblings and everything, but I didn't want it to be like a responsibility per se. And that just wasn't like, oh, he's gonna have to, like, you have to be responsible. I was never thinking like that from the moment he was born. It was just like, he's his own person, and he's his own person.
Yeah. And I was. And that's the thing that, like, you've been frustrated a little bit about it, because even to this day, I still raise and train JJ like he gotta be the man of the house. If I'm not here, like, Jay, I'm teaching him how to be a man. Like I tell Crystal all the time, I'm not raising boys, I'm not raising babies, I'm not raising little kids, I'm raising men. Because and this is my perspective. My father passed away when I was 18, and if he had not trained me how to be a man, or if he had not trained me with the qualities that I have, I would have been really immature and jacked up as a man. And so just with that carries on into how I parent my sons.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting for them to learn about life. I'm being hard on them now, but I am more harder on JJ, because it's even that fact that if daddy passed away, if mommy passed away, I want to make sure that Joshua is going to be able to handle and take care of his brothers how he needs to. And people will be like, well, that's not his responsibility, which you have said to me, like, that's not his responsibility. Like, he don't have to do that. And for me, I'm just like, no, that is his responsibility.
It's not that I don't feel like he has to, but I think if we parent them the right way, he would naturally do it but not feel forced. And that's the problem. I mean, not problem, but that's the point that it is for me. Like, I think he would do it regardless, but I don't want him to feel forced to have to do it, because when you feel forced to do stuff in life, like, you're gonna hate it. And I don't want it to be a burden type of deal. So I want it to just be like a natural, like, man, that's my brother, of course I'm gonna take care of him naturally, without being like, oh, I need to, it's a pressure, like, oh my gosh, I have to, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there is a difference in the perspective of doing it. It's not that I don't want him to do it if anything had happened to us, but I don't want him to feel like a pressure in a negative way. That's it. But I definitely think that he would do that, but it's not like a force. It's a difference.
Well, and that's the difference that we have, right, within how we think and how we look at it. For me, and this is just how I am even right now as a man, me, Joshua Tate, right now, I don't naturally, and I'm gonna be real, I don't naturally want to work the way that I work to take care of my family, right? I don't want to naturally do what I do. I really don't. I don't naturally, like, if somebody asked me years ago that I was going to have to be working 100+ hours a week, I would be stressed out. You know, have all this financial burden and all this stuff on my shoulders. I would say, I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing that. Yeah. But I've been doing it because I have to do that. I know that that's the right thing. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like, it's not, because on those hard days, like, when it's hard, that's what I'm saying. When it's hard and you don't want to do it, that's what I'm training. You know, that's how I train Jay. It's like when he gets older, I don't know what's going to happen in life, like, between you, between me, how long we going to live, but I train him to be be responsible for his brothers, to make sure that even from a very young age, I was teaching JJ how to fight, because I'm like, hey, if anybody mess with your brothers, you gotta be there to protect them. And I told him, like, for me, I can't go out and protect my sons
against a kid
bullying Samson or bullying Joseph, but I'm gonna teach you how to fight. I'm gonna teach you how to knock some people out, how to really rough up some kids, so that way, if nobody will pick on your brother, and if they pick on your brother, you already know how to handle that situation straight up, because I can't do nothing to no kids, but you can, right? And I know y'all might be like, well, why are you teaching this man to be violent? Well, hey, I grew up in Los Angeles, California. I moved down here to Memphis, and I just know how things could be, how people could be, and in this world, it's a dog world out here, and you got to be tough. And I tell Crystal that all the time, and that's how I've been raising Joshua. And it's the difference, because it's the total opposite for Samson and Joseph. I teach Samson, if people like, I teach him, you ain't no ain't no being physical, ain't no hitting, ain't no punching, ain't no talking crazy, boy.
Oh yeah,
you know, you have to, you can't be about that life. You just can't be about that life, because
he sure got the mouth to try to be.
I'd be like, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he do. He tough and all of that. But I'm just like, you can't be that guy, because one punch you could be out. And I don't want that to happen at all. So you have to be very wise. And the way that I teach Samson is, right, a soft answer turns away wrath. That's how I'm training Samson.
That's so funny.
That's how I'll be doing Joseph. But with Joshua, it's the same thing, but it's also, hey, stand up for yourself and for your brothers, because they can't do that. So but I do feel like, and I'm gonna be honest, with raising Joshua, because he is typical, he didn't ask for it, but that responsibility is on him. Like, you know,
I mean,
it's on him, because he's the one.
It is, and it will be.
It's just on him.
But it's like,
he has to be that person.
Yeah.
Like, other than you, other than me, I feel like he have to be that person. Like, that is what I'm gonna say it just like this, because just like you and me, we have to take care of our kids. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like, I do believe that's true. Like, family is family. I think families stick together. Like, that's literally how I think of it. It's like, families stick together. If anything happened to, you already know what I'm talking about, my family and stuff. Of course, it's just a natural thing, and that's what I'm saying. Nobody has ever instilled it in me, Crystal, when you grow up, if XYZ happen, you have to do XYZ. That's never happened to me. However, I do naturally think that way.
Yeah.
So it's like, you get what I'm saying? So it's like, either way, if you instill it, if you don't instill it, I just think of how the upbringing is, it's going to happen naturally. Like, it is their responsibility. It is his responsibility, but I think the way that it happens is important, basically.
Yeah, you're right. And but I would say, like, even how we've been discussing just on this topic of, like, the role that JJ played, I know in the very beginning I was really, really tough and really, really hard on him, but since then I have, like, I have chilled back. I have took a step back, because I do understand. It's like that dad, like, no kid, when they feel that pressure, that burden, that responsibility, to where you gotta do this, you gotta be the one, you have to. It is very overwhelming, especially growing up. You know, it's like, really, you have really to allow hard.
Sorry, go ahead, Joseph. Stop it.
No, I was just saying, it's really, really hard. So,
yeah, and you have to allow them to be a kid, and I feel like that's why we was just making this video as well. Like, we're talking about just all the things, so it's like, that's another area. It's like, man, I just want to make sure that for his childhood, that he definitely, like, has a childhood and he experiences what all other children experience, as far as what he can, of course, but just be, have his typical childhood and have, like, enjoyable moments and things, and not have to just focus on, I have to be an adult, or I have to be a caregiver, at 4 or whatever. So
yeah. But even along with that, I know you've really been instilling now within him, making sure that he has everything that he needs as a child, and even going into the different factor of, I know we have comments before of, y'all need to give attention to JJ, because y'all give a lot of attention to Samson, y'all give a lot of attention to Joseph. Well, you guys, we have been making a conscious effort to really give time to JJ. Absolutely. Because we understand, like, it is very difficult, because for Samson and for Joseph, they require a lot of attention, right? And at times, JJ, he gets lost in the sauce, and we seen that, and we noticed that. But at the same time, we understand that is just how life is as well. Like, our kids, Samson and Joseph, they need more from us. So it's inevitable. Right. They will always receive more attention from us, because that's what they need. But we have made a conscious decision to not leave JJ out.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, just talk about
now it's like more so we're intentionally, like you said, doing things with him,
Yeah.
for him. And like now I'm like, at first, like years ago, I was like, oh, JJ, do this. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get my lazy tail self up and I'm gonna get up and just do the thing that I would ask him to do rather than asking him to do it, because like I said, he needs to just have his childhood. So why should I disrupt his enjoyment of playing with his brothers or whatever he's doing for him to get up and get something for me that I could get up and get myself? So that's just one thing, but also just like taking him out and like getting that one-on-one time with him, because that is so needed. He definitely needs one-on-one time, like especially like we said, like these other kids, they need so much attention all the time, like always at doctor's appointments. They're always like he's so distracting.
Man, JJ over there just having a time of his life, y'all.
They're always at doctor's appointments and everything, so like they are always with us or with me, and so I try to make sure that JJ gets that time with me as well. So recently we just like going to the store together, or just going to pick up XYZ, just having him come along for the ride, or I go check the mail with him, or walk up and down the street, just me and him, and just giving him that time to just enjoy his mom by himself. And that's even typical or not, like I feel like when I had him, I never did have that one-on-one time with him. So he's the only one who didn't get it. You know, this guy right here, Joseph, he's been home with me while them two are at school. But when JJ, when he was younger, it was always him and Samson. It's never just been him at home with me.
Yes, you are right about that.
So that's why I'm like, now I really dislike that I didn't give him that one-on-one time, but now like that he's older, I'm trying to instill that and incorporate that way more than I did before.
And you know, it's been a learning journey, and that's what I would say. It's been a learning process for us as parents, figuring out the best way to raise our children with their different needs and with their uniqueness. And like one of the things for us is JJ is not as outgoing as Samson or even as Joseph is, like being honest.
That's true.
And so what we learned is we do have to put a better effort, and we have to really go out the way to really make him feel special, to really make him feel loved, to really make him feel cared for. And we have been doing a really great job at
We've been doing better.
In the beginning, it wasn't like that, because like just in the beginning, I was still working and I was away from the home a lot, and so you really had to give a lot of attention to Samson in that moment and not really be able to put your undivided attention on Jay. But what we've been working with is just getting our family dynamic together. So we've been making that great effort of giving JJ time. And one of the things though that I would say that we have noticed, and what really caused us to be more intentional, was when we heard JJ say that we don't love him, when we heard him say that we don't care for him. But it's a lot of stuff that has to do with that. But like he would say that and we're like, man, we don't like that. Like,
even with how he like kind of started to change how he was treating his brothers. It was like, well, we need to give him a lot more time, a lot more attention, a lot more love, because this stuff is not okay. What that stuff was not okay. So, but we haven't been dealing with that since then either.
Yeah, we have not been dealing with that, because we've been we just changed how we have our approach to raising our typical child, making sure. But what I do know, right, even as we go forward in the future, I do see a time to where it's going to switch. And what I mean by that is JJ is going to be getting a lot of the attention, just kind of like from what I think, you know, with him playing sports, you know, with him
clubs or whatever he's a part of.
He gonna play sports, so I know he gonna play sports. And you know, for me as a dad, like that's something that I'm really gonna connect with. But even from right now, I have already been thinking how I'm going to make sure that my other kids know that dad loves them too, even though you can't connect. I was a football player, so y'all dads out there, y'all already know how it is when you see your son excelling in sports. That just really makes you feel good. But at the same time though, what else am I teaching my kids? The thing that I'm teaching all of my kids is things about business, things about managing their money, things about, because one thing that I've learned in my life, but it happens to a whole lot of dudes. Like, sports is not the end all be all. You know, that's just
for sure.
Even if when JJ is good at sports and he's doing great and stuff, at the same time, that's great. But, and I know I'ma love it. And if he goes to, you know, playing D1 and whatever he is in, either basketball, football, or track, it's just going to be like, it's going to be great. But at the same time, I'm always going to remind him, like, hey, we all a family, and we all gotta all know how to love each other and know how to not make one higher than the other.
I think one thing, just having a typical child, I feel like we kind of naturally were like, we kind of thought, as far as when he was first learning to do things and growing up and things, I feel like we naturally are like, you should know how to do XYZ.
Yes.
You should this and this and this and this. But it's like, how can they know something if they're never taught, even if they are a typical child? Like, we kind of accidentally, like I said, it just naturally happened. Like, we just think you're kind of on your own, buddy. You could figure it out, type of thing, rather than actually not babying him, but literally just teaching him different things. And I feel like that was a hard little lesson that we had to learn as well, because I'm like, wait a minute, like, he has never been on this earth before. There's so many things that we literally have to teach him, even though he is typical. Like, he still has to go through the whole training process of becoming, basically. So I feel like that was hard too.
I absolutely agree with that, because we didn't really notice. And I know it was, for me, this was more so, I'll say I did this a lot more than you did. For me, I just expected JJ to know how to do stuff,
to do everything,
and it was like, you don't know how to do that. Like, that's how I was. Y'all, look,
he hard on him, y'all.
I'm a good guy. I'm a good father, good husband. But it's things about everybody that people need to get better at, and that was one of the areas that I had to grow in, because this is where it came from, with just all the responsibility that me and Crystal have. I found myself just being in a place to where I already was super exhausted, just mentally, physically, emotionally, and I used to take that out on Jay, not knowingly. It wasn't intentional until Crystal brought it into my attention. I was like, oh wow, you are right. But she was like, just because he is typical, just because he's regular and he's able to do stuff, you still gotta teach him. You still gotta help him out. You still have to do that. And for me, it was like, I mean, you are right, because like, for me, I just expect for JJ to know how to do stuff. I just expect for him to be able to, hey, do this way, do that way, do that way,
without asking or anything.
And in my mind, it just kind of was, he just already know. He should know how to do all of this stuff. But one thing though, I would say, even when it comes to raising them, I'm still always gonna be harder on Jay, you know. And I told Crystal that, and I'm hard on all my boys. I'm hard on Samson and Joseph, but I'm just always gonna be harder on Jay, because I just know that for Samson and for Joseph, I'm hard on them too, and they're gonna have a different life. But with Joshua, I think that it's actually going to be a lot harder. And the reason why, because I see this even now with Samson and with Joseph, they get so much attention.
Oh, even like, from outsiders. Yeah.
Yes, people. I feel like people, they support them. They really
show up and
they show up for like our other sons a lot more than they do for JJ. And so I'm getting JJ just kind of like used to the real world, I guess, to where like people don't, I'm not saying it like that, but it's just what it is. It seems like people just don't care for him as much, or he's not that special. Right. And so I just want to get him into that, I ain't gonna say mindset, but I'm teaching him how to be competitive, you know, teaching them how to stick out. I'm teaching them how to, and I'm being more tough on him so he understand and know that he's going to have to do more. I do think that people will have more compassion on Samson and Joseph because it's like y'all have a special needs condition, so I'm going to be more friendly to you. I'm going to help out more. But with Jay, it's like, oh, you a grown man, boy. Yeah, what you need me up for, right? So I'm teaching them how to kind of be on his own.
Yeah, that is true.
I'm teaching all my kids like that, but I'm teaching JJ a lot more on how to just really go through life by himself, independent upon himself, being strong, being a strong man.
Yeah,
and it is a different.
Yeah, that's so true. And like that has been our experience so far in this journey, y'all. We are still learning. Like we are. I feel like we're just getting started. Like we're just scratching the surface, basically, because there's so much that we've experienced, but then there's so much more that we need to learn and that we need to grow into. So we don't know everything, and we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear like, what are you guys' thoughts and advice? We're a young couple. We're still, like I said, we're still figuring these things out. Like, what is it that we can do different to make him feel even more special, have more confidence in himself and everything? Because that's something that we think that we would love to see more of in him, is like more confidence, more outgoing, that outgoing spirit like our other children, everything. Any advice that you guys could give, we would definitely appreciate it.
But then even it may be some other families out there who are raising children with special needs and typical children mixed together, and just want to hear from you, like, how do you do what you do, right? And how is it in your family dynamic?
How do you find a balance?
For us, it's been us learning, how we're going to do things and just like how it goes. But I would say this, as we're closing, one of the biggest things that I feel has been great for us this year is Joshua going to a different school and Samson going to a different school. I think that has been really, really good, because it was like both of them are being celebrated separately.
Yes, like, that is so true.
I do think that's really good. Like JJ, he's doing great at his school, and Samson doing great at his school. Yeah. So both of them, like they were both excelling, really special, But it kind of makes me think, like, when Joshua goes to school with Samson, how is that going to be?
Joshua, I didn't never think of it from that side. Yeah, I'm always thinking about, they're going to enjoy each other, but then I never thought about how people might be treating him, and they might be like, oh, you're not, like, comparing them, and I hate comparisons.
Y'all brothers. But then at the same time, I don't want Jay to be in the background of Samson,
outshine. I didn't think of that.
But it's see, that's something that we're gonna have to see during the next school year when they go to school together. That's something that I'm really looking forward to, right?
I'm looking forward to it too, but dang, you really opened up my eyes, because I didn't think of it from that perspective.
No, like it's something that we're gonna have to even learn. Like, how do we navigate both of them being in school together?
Dang, babe, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But the truth is, one thing, and as we're closing, we have really learned this, and I think we are doing a great job, is all of our kids are appreciated individually. They know that they are loved individually,
and that they're special.
Individual days. We have Samson sleep with us. We have Joshua sleep with us. We have Joseph sleep with us. So, and we do that intentionally because we want everyone to know y'all all are loved. Y'all all are cared for. And just because you this way don't mean you get special privilege. Just because you this way don't mean you don't get special privilege. So
for sure.
We've been working it out, you guys. But look, that's it for this video, y'all. Go ahead and drop it in the comments. If you made it this far, go ahead and drop this emoji right here in the comments, you guys. And thank y'all for tuning in. And we will see y'all on the next episode. And we won't have Joseph with
because he making so much noise, y'all.
I'm gonna put it to him, y'all.
Look. Go do it, Joe. He get quiet.
Look,
he got his hand up over his face and everything. Joe, say do it. Do it. What you was just doing, Joe?
Oh, now he's shy.
He's so shy now.
Look, now he's shy. That boy ain't gonna do nothing. Joe. He want to make noise until he put on the spot.
Right.
Well, all right, you guys. Look, that's gonna be it for this video. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.